Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving deep into the dark underbelly of the United States prison system to shed light on the bone-chilling ADX Florence supermax prison. Prepare to be shocked as we unveil the dangerous inmates, their heinous crimes, and the reasons why even the most fearless guards tremble at the thought of working within its impenetrable walls. The notorious inmates. ADX Florence, located in Colorado, houses some of the most dangerous and notorious criminals in the United States. Among them are Theodore Kaczynski, also known as the Unabomber, carried out a nationwide bombing campaign that spanned nearly 2 decades from the late 1970s to the mid-1990s. Kaczynski, a former mathematics professor, targeted universities, airlines, and other institutions with homemade bombs sent through the mail. His motive was rooted in his anti-technology and anti-industrialization beliefs, which he outlined in his manifesto titled Industrial Society and Its Future. Kaczynski's bombings resulted in 3 deaths and numerous injuries. His targets included individuals involved in technology and the promotion of modern industrial society. The Unabomber's reign of terror spread fear and uncertainty throughout the nation as law enforcement agencies and the public grappled with the unknown identity of the perpetrator. His case garnered widespread attention and became one of the most extensive investigations in FBI history. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev became infamous for his involvement in the Boston Marathon bombing on April 15, 2013. Along with his older brother Tamerlan, Tsarnaev placed 2 homemade pressure cooker bombs near the finish line of the marathon. The detonation resulted in the deaths of 3 people and injured more than 260 others, some of whom suffered life-altering injuries. The manhunt for the Tsarnaev brothers gripped the nation as law enforcement agencies pursued the suspects and eventually engaged in a dramatic shootout leading to Tamerlan's death. Richard Reed, widely known as the Shoe Bomber, attempted an act of terrorism on December 22, 2001, aboard American Airlines Flight 63 from Paris to Miami. Reed, a British citizen with ties to Al-Qaeda, had concealed explosives in his shoes and tried to ignite them during the flight. However, his attempt was foiled by vigilant passengers and flight attendants who restrained him. Reed's failed plot to blow up the transatlantic flight with 197 people on board served as a chilling reminder of the continued threat of terrorism post 9/11. After his arrest, Richard Reed was convicted on multiple charges, including attempted use of a weapon of mass destruction, and received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. These are just a few examples of the dangerous individuals housed at ADX Florence. The prison also accommodates notorious criminals such as high-profile gang leaders, contract killers, and serial killers who have committed heinous acts of violence and left a trail of devastation in their wake. Unforgivable crimes. Within the walls of ADX Florence, notorious inmates have committed unforgivable crimes that have left a permanent scar on society. These crimes include multiple murders. ADX Florence houses individuals who have engaged in multiple acts of murder, often exhibiting a chilling disregard for human life. From serial killers who took the lives of numerous victims to contract killers hired to carry out heinous acts of violence, high-profile kidnappings. Some inmates at ADX Florence have been involved in high-profile kidnappings, where innocent individuals were forcibly taken captive, subjected to extreme physical and psychological trauma, and held for ransom or other nefarious purposes. Terrorist acts. The prison also houses individuals convicted of carrying out terrorist attacks that have had a significant impact on society. From the Unabomber's nationwide bombing campaign to the Boston Marathon bombing, these acts of terror resulted in loss of life, severe injuries, and the disruption of the peaceful fabric of communities. The crimes committed by ADX Florence inmates are marked by their brutality, premeditation, and disregard for human life. The unfathomable brutality. ADX Florence is renowned for its extreme security measures and the isolation imposed on its inmates. Despite these measures, acts of violence within the prison still occur, revealing the unfathomable brutality that exists within its walls. The inmates at ADX Florence are subjected to a highly controlled and restrictive environment. They spend approximately 23 hours a day in solitary confinement with limited human contact and restricted access to the outside world. This level of isolation and sensory deprivation is intended to prevent communication, disrupt criminal networks, and maintain the safety of both inmates and staff. Guards and prison staff must constantly navigate the threat of violence within ADX Florence. They are tasked with maintaining order and ensuring the safety of both inmates and themselves. The ever-present risk of assault or retaliation from the inmates creates an atmosphere of tension and apprehension. The terrifying atmosphere. The atmosphere within ADX Florence is one of constant fear, tension, and unpredictability. Guards at the supermax prison face significant challenges and threats to their safety, which contribute to their heightened sense of terror. The presence of highly dangerous and violent inmates combined with the strict security measures creates an environment that is inherently hostile. The knowledge that these individuals have committed heinous crimes and pose a continued risk to society weighs heavily on the minds of the guards. The possibility of encountering individuals with a propensity for violence at any given moment amplifies the sense of unease and keeps the guards on high alert. The architecture and layout of the prison also contribute to the terrifying atmosphere. The concrete walls, narrow corridors, and heavily secured cells create a claustrophobic and foreboding environment. The strict surveillance and security measures, including multiple layers of electronic and physical barriers, serve as constant reminders of the dangers inherent in the prison. Challenges and criticisms. Despite its intended purpose of protecting society from dangerous criminals, ADX Florence has faced criticisms regarding its long-term effects on inmates' mental health. ADX Florence, the formidable supermax prison, stands as a testament to the depths of human depravity. With its roster of menacing inmates and a reputation for instilling fear even in the hearts of the bravest guards, this prison serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that exists within our society. Remember to subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, and leave a comment below to share your thoughts on this bone-chilling exploration of ADX Florence. Stay tuned for more captivating content.